Hello Marvel Heroes fans, you may have watched the other video on X-23, which is the bleed build. This is the movement build, also my favorite build as well between the two of them. It's a little bit kind of like complicated to play and explain, but I think out of the two builds, it is probably a better one if you want to do something like a Cosmic Danger Room. And so I'm going to play a little bit of Cosmic Danger Room, introduce her powers to you. And I'm not going to repeat what I've said in my previous video on the bleed build. So I think the only thing I would like to just reinstate is that she is quite a dated hero. Surprise, it's just over a year old, but you know, this game changed a lot. And I mean, so you know, she does require you to have a little bit more like a tender love and care or skill to kind of play her well, or at least make her survive. So it may be something good, because if you find that the current heroes are very mechanical, like, you know, just managing cooldown and whatnot, then, you know, she's probably something that you keep, I mean, you have to mash a lot of buttons, alright? So between the bleed and the movement build, both has its own pros and cons. I would think that the bleed build is more for a single target, I think, at least from the way that I see it. But the movement build is probably a little better in those kind of environment whereby it's a lot of like harder content, a lot of like, you know, mobs running around and so on. Alright, so now without further ado, I'm diving into the Cosmic Danger Room to show you a little bit of X-23. Alright, this is Cosmic Danger Room, and I'm not going to be too ambitious in the challenge rating for a reason that may become obvious, because X-23 really is pretty fragile in this sort of environment, and I've actually played quite a fair bit of Danger Room on X-23 before arriving into this video, and I found that you know, sometimes just a little bit inconsistent depending on the affixes of the room as well. So I'm not going to do too kind of hard stuff right now here, just introduce her power to you. And when it comes to movement build, it's unlike the bleed build whereby you have to manage the 3-second 3 stacks of Gravest Wound. This time around, you have to make sure that you keep moving within 4 seconds or so. You just keep moving and stuff like that. So how do you move? You can either move using the Grateful Maneuver or move using the Rending Leap. Now, I understand that there's another power called the Twirling Lunge as well, but I don't really seem to get that working, at least not for me. It's a bit clunky when it comes to single target. So I mean, I'm okay with movement build, but I do not like to move for the sake of movement. That's about it. And like the bleed build, there are some like a hard punching power, like the called Capoeira, which is the one that hit pretty hard as well. But it also requires you to just keep moving in order to benefit from this kind of thing. And and basically you know, so long as you keep moving every 10 seconds or 4 seconds for this case, because you need to refresh your cooldown, you are fine, right? But so you don't need to worry about you know, keeping the bleed on and so on. However, I do have the bleed, which is the Crimson Sweep as the hotkey, because I would like to apply the vulnerability debuff. 10% is not bad. So it is very clunky in terms of the movement build. Unlike the bleed build where I can put everything on the hotbar, I can't in this case. So I need to sort of like do a little bit creative here. So anyway, just let's go for it. So let me see what I need to do. All right. So this one is the movement build, and the just need to sort of like you know, same thing that I do for the other build. Alright, so this I have to be careful. And this is the boss, is it? Alright, so this is the one that Dancing Blade is the one that I need to focus. Right, there's a lot of like button mashing right now here because of the fact that have to be you know, have to make sure that I manage my wrath correctly, and I just did a hotkey on the vulnerability debuff and Dancing Blade as well, and a bit of movement here and there, and that's about it. So it is I mean, it's still challenging a little bit, but it's not as bad as I think the bleed build. I have, what do I need to do here? I need to locate and defeat the underboss somewhere in the subway, so I think the boss would be somewhere. What? Where are the bosses? I think that is you know. After playing Deadpool, I found that you know, I really missed the teleport, and her running skill is a little bit clunky as well. She's, the way that she runs is like very jerky. Yeah, I mean, you know, it just jerks a lot when she runs. Is there a right word for it? I hope it is though. Alright, so that is the alright. That is the underboss. Wow, this is I have a lot of lags here, by the way. The problem with this whole movement thingy, or at least the gracious maneuver, is that it has a very strange lag to it, and the lag will cause her to run to places whereby I don't expect her to run to. So that is actually quite strange. Okay, dancing blade is something that will probably save me from all these things going on, and well, luckily I'm being rewarded for being like movement, for the sake of movement. It's the Totem, man. Right. Dancing blade, dancing blade, dancing blade, cyclone, and the just need to keep spamming the and slash and head equivalent. All right. I always forgot this like vulnerability debuff because like I always say, that's the thing. I run off to the other side because there's a lag in the whole like gracious maneuver thingy, right? Alright, so that's done, and the boss is done, so that's not too bad. Okay, completed. Next one. My hand is a little bit cramped already. I don't know how many danger room I've tried on the... Okay, what do I need to do here? Three major shipments, so let's just skip all these things. Why put all these mobs here when we all have to skip it, huh? Strange. Alright, new map. Yeah. Bless you, that's my wife. Wow, I have to be careful though. Yeah, the thing like, wow. Alright, so that what the shipment is done, is it? So I don't need to, like, maybe I shouldn't need to, like, wow. That is intense, man. Bless you. Yeah, my wife just keeps sneezing when I play Marvel Heroes. She's allergic to Marvel Heroes. Anyhow, wow, this is yet another thing that I should just like, okay man, dancing blade. Alright, so that is done, completed. Yes, yeah, I mean the challenge rating is not high, by the way, so there's nothing to cheer about really, nothing to cheer about. So let's see, it's a kingpin, so let's just, and the ultimate, that is the one that is ultimate, and she is going to be awesome. Spender, spender, spender. Invulnerable. Alright, 2 and 3. Signature, signature, signature. Alright. Signature, signature. Alright, come on man, Kingpin down! You bad guy! Alright, come on man. What happened? Oh, she died. Yeah, just like the other one. Can't even see what happens. So I mean, there's the thing about X-23 is that as a deflect dodge hero, this is something that is kind of like expected of as well, because the way that she is not really good at handling spike. So it is for anything that cannot be dodge or deflect, and you eat the whole damage. So that is wow. Isn't it very close? Like, isn't it? Wow. So anyhow, well, I still win, but it wasn't really the best thing that I can do. I mean, well, it's sort of like the best I can do, but it's not really good for TV. But yeah, I mean, still count as a win. I've got the reward here. So I hope you've got some idea how she plays like in terms of the movement. I mean, you have got to say that the movement is feel a lot more like agile and sort of like a dangerous situation compared to a bleed build, whereby you have to stand still to do some kind of damage on the mob. So alright, so I'm heading back to the training room and talk a little bit about the build. So onto the build. For the movement build, you probably wouldn't invest anything on the adamantium claws. This is more for bleed. But rather you would focus on the lethal acrobatics as well. In a way, a lot of these powers though, I mean, it require you to do some movement kind of power. So either you can move around with a graceful maneuver, which a lot of time when you play Danger Room, you'll be kind of moving around. But for a single target, you can't really like, it's sort of like you have to do it every 4 seconds, a little bit clunky as well. So what I usually do is to apply Rending Leap. Rending Leap itself, the power is not great really. I look at a number, because of the weakened kind of debuff, it kind of make the power a little bit handicapped. But if you play X-23, there aren't many area power they can use, and this could well be one of those that help you to, to clear some of these mobs around you. So it is what it is, and I have to use it. And but the biggest, of course, the hardest hitting powers are the one like the capoeira. That one is nice, but you make sure that you have to have at least 10 seconds within a movement to buff this one, because all these power do not have, except this one by the way, all this power doesn't have the bleed component to it, so you have to sort of like be a little bit creative in terms of buffing your movement powers. These are not movement power, buffing using a movement power. Okay, and the as far as the click is concerned, again the same thing like what you see in the other side as well. It becomes a 4-second cooldown if you use a movement power in the last 10 seconds. So it's same as the other one, that one of these, the cooldown that you have here as well, the disembowel in a sense. So the two is very similar. So instead of do this, you do that. But then the requirements are a little bit different. This one require to be bleed. This one is required to be bleed, while this one required to have movement power that you have used. And the main spender is a lethal clause. That's really not thing you can creatively use because you are not buffing the you're not buffing the bleed component to it. So I wouldn't recommend using the cleaving clause. So you use a lethal clause. Then some can do a whirling launch. I find it a little bit strange, especially in a single target environment. It's very, very weird, strange going on. So I'm not really using this one a lot. And the open the jugular is the one that has an execute function to it as well. So it's a little bit different from the other side of it, the rip to strats, which is the apply vulnerability. At least this doesn't have a long animation to it, and it's nice. It's a knockdown. But you have to use a movement power within 4 seconds to sort of like, if you see disabled, like right now here, just make sure you run a bit, then you can use it again. See? Alright, so that is one. That is basically it, the whole thing. And whenever you can see a whirling dervish, you just use it. Same as seeing red as well. Just use this to replenish all your wrath and to sort of like restore wrath when you activate a movement power. So know your hardest hitting powers, like the one that you can like really like the one here. Then at least then you know when to empty out all your wrath here. All right. And onto the middle part, the daily operative wise, I mean, this is a stance, a fluid stand. You have got to max it to give you the best kind of result that this toggle is on. Make sure the toggle is on, by the way. I put it in the second hotbar. Then remaining point, just dump it into the heart of a beast. That is for your damage kind of like mitigation. That is all about it, though. I mean, I think in closing, this movement kind of build is a lot. I think it survives a lot better compared to the bleed build in terms of harder content. It may not give you the best like the single target result, but I do enjoy the movement build a lot more. From the design perspective, though, I really hope that I do not have the hotkey, the Crimson Sweep, to have the 10% vulnerability debuff. I wish that one of these powers just have it like this one here, instead of weakened, then you just do a vulnerability debuff. I mean, that would be quite nice as well, because I really don't have anything in this hotbar anymore. And like I said in the bleed video, I really wish that this one hit a lot harder but cause a lot more wrath, so I don't need to keep spamming this one. It's very, very tiring as well. So I mean, playing X-23 require you to do a lot of like finger kind of exercise, which maybe is a good thing. And and also just bear in mind that she can be a lot really fragile. Despite the fact that the damage reduction is really high, what she can't take is a spike. And as I always say, in this game right now, after the defense revamp, it is a spike that kills a hero, and the only thing that mitigate out from it is defense. And unfortunately, she's more like the dodge and deflect hero. So anyhow, hope you enjoyed this video, and do leave me comment box below how you feel about X-23. And if you like these sort of videos, and guys, on the description below, there's a link back to my website, a whole list of videos for you to watch. So yeah, so till next time we see each other, goodbye.